I rented a secluded bungalow for some peace and quiet. But every night, I heard footsteps from the sealed-off second floor. Convinced myself it was nothing until I found the door that led up. I needed a break. A few days to clear my head, get away from the chaos, and just be alone. And when I stumbled across a quaint little bungalow on a remote hill, I jumped at the opportunity. The listing promised seclusion, comfort, and the chance to unwind in peace. What more could I ask for? When I arrived, the place was everything I had hoped for. A small, cozy house surrounded by dense trees and nothing but the occasional rustle of wildlife. The living room had large windows that opened up to a view of the forest, and there was a small kitchen with just enough space to cook something simple. The bedroom upstairs seemed charming, though the landlord had warned me that it was off-limits specifically. The second floor was sealed for safety reasons and was in T safe for guests to use. I didn't think much of it. I was used to places with strange quirks and odd rules. It was the peace I was after, not to go poking around in rooms that were meant to be off-limits. That first night, after a long day of hiking, I decided to settle in early. I cooked a light dinner, made some tea, and sat by the window, enjoying the view as the sun dipped behind the treetops. There was an odd stillness in the air, the kind of silence that made you feel like you were the only person in the world. It was peaceful, but it also made me feel a little uneasy. I tried to shake off the feeling. I was tired. I needed rest. I didn't sleep well that night. I kept waking up to the sound of something shifting above me. I tried to ignore it, thinking it was the house. Settling old houses do that sometimes, but the sound was different. It wasn't just a creak of wood or the wind outside. It was the unmistakable sound of footsteps, slow, deliberate, pacing back and forth above my head. I sat up in bed, the sound sending a cold shiver down my spine. I told myself it was nothing, maybe an animal or the house making noise in the wind. Still, I couldn't shake the feeling that someone or something was moving around upstairs. I pulled the covers tighter around me and tried to go back to sleep, but the footsteps didn't stop. They continued, step after step, back and forth. They sounded closer now, like whoever was walking was just above my room. My heart began to race. I forced myself to close my eyes, trying to ignore the sound. Finally, after what felt like hours, the noise stopped. I slept fitfully until morning, and when I woke up, I convinced myself that I had imagined it. Houses make noises. The building was old. There was nothing to worry about. But the next night, the footsteps came again. This time, I couldn't ignore it. I was wide awake, staring at the ceiling, listening to the rhythmic pacing above me. My heart was pounding in my chest. I told myself it had to be the house. It had to be. I tried to distract myself by turning on the TV, but the sound of the footsteps was too loud, too persistent. It was as if whatever was up there was getting closer, walking right on top of my room. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. I grabbed the flashlight from the kitchen and made my way upstairs to see if I could find the source of the noise. The door to the second floor was locked, but I didn't care. I had to know. I wasn't going to leave without answers. I fumbled with the lock, my fingers shaking. The door opened with a creak, and I stepped into the dark hallway. There was no furniture, just dust and cobwebs. The air smelled musty, old like no one had been up there in years. I walked cautiously down the hallway, shining the flashlight in front of me. My heart was pounding in my chest, but I felt compelled to keep going, driven by a mixture of fear and curiosity. The footsteps were louder now, clearer, as if someone was walking just around the corner. I turned the corner, and there, at the end of the hall, I saw it. The door. The door was slightly ajar, and through the crack I could see the faintest movement. Shadow. I could feel the blood drain from my face. I didn't know what to do. I wanted to run, but my legs wouldn't move. I called out, but my voice was barely a whisper. Hello? There was no response, but the shadow in the room shifted, as if someone or something was standing just inside, watching me. I was about to turn and leave when I saw it. The reflection in the mirror next to the door. A woman pale with long tangled hair standing behind me, her face expressionless. Her eyes were hollow, and her mouth was stretched into an eerie grin. I spun around, but there was nothing behind me. I was alone. The woman was gone. I took a few shaky steps back, the flashlight trembling in my hand. My mind was racing. Wanted to get out of there, but my body felt frozen in place. I backed away slowly, my heart pounding in my chest, and rushed down the stairs. I didn't stop until I was back in the living room, the door shut and locked behind me. I turned off all the lights and sat there in the dark, waiting for something to happen, but nothing did. The next morning, I couldn't leave fast enough. I packed my bags, left the keys on the kitchen counter, and didn't look back. I don't know what I saw upstairs, but I know I never want to experience it again. To this day, I don't know who or what was walking around in that bungalow, but I have a feeling I'll never forget the face in the mirror. And every time I think about it, I wonder if the woman is still up there waiting for someone else to come along.